All right, testing audio, 1, 2. All right, we got a thumbs up here with the sound, which is great. We are streaming also on YouTube. I'm making sure everything is sounding good on that end as well. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just one quick moment. Let's see what we got going on here. Just be one quick moment. All right, got some good confirmation here. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Thanks for joining. My name is Kevin Gilmore with the National Weather Service New Orleans Baton Rouge office. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about this chance for severe weather coming up on Wednesday. For what we know right now, there has been some changes as of early this afternoon. Some of those include now a upgrade for the convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, with some areas now in an enhanced risk for severe weather. We're going to talk about exactly what that means, some of the timing and what to expect as we go in through the day tomorrow. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about a little bit what's going on right outside our window this morning. So first, I'm going to jump to the radar real quick. See if I can kind of get this up and rolling. It'll be just one quick moment. There we go. So just kind of show the radar right now. We see that there is some activity up to our north. Just some flash flood warnings are in effect just south of Jackson, not far north of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Some thunderstorms are already developing off towards Alexandria, Louisiana. But for our area, it's actually very warm outside. We got temperatures right now, lower 80s across the area. Let's see if I can also jump into showing you what the current satellite imagery looks like too, just to show that we got mostly to partly cloudy skies across the region. So now there is technically a marginal risk for severe weather across the very southwestern portion of Mississippi. And that includes some of that activity that I just showed you right there. However, that is not the main story of what we're talking about for the potential severe weather. Generally speaking, we're not expecting any severe weather today, although we can't rule out maybe a strong storm or two across that southwest Mississippi corridor. However, it's going to be when we go into the day tomorrow, and especially tomorrow afternoon and evening, where we have that potential for seeing some active weather. So let me go back here real quick and just show you again what I was talking about with that that marginal risk that's in effect across southwest Mississippi. That includes cities like Macomb, Woodville, Liberty. You're in that marginal risk, but again, this is just a marginal risk, or what we say a level 1 out of 5, which is a low risk for severe weather. Just be aware there may be some rumbles of thunder, maybe a strong storm or two, especially some of the activity we're watching back to the west in Alexandria. But otherwise, again, we're not expected to see a widespread severe weather issue for today. So here's the latest. This is the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center. Before, we did have a slight risk of severe weather for our area. Now it is an enhanced risk for areas generally north of I-1012 from Baton Rouge over to Biloxi, so north of that area up into southwest Mississippi. So when we're talking about a enhanced risk, we're talking that's a 3 out of 5 risk. So slight, a 2 out of 5. So either way, both risks are a little bit elevated from that lower marginal risk category that I just showed you before. So what we're talking about here, and as you can see too, just to the further to the north across Jackson's area, which I'll try and see if I can show you a little bit later too, is an even more enhanced risk up there. There's a moderate risk for severe weather for our friends up in Jackson, Mississippi, up to Birmingham. They're going to be dealing with some very active weather tomorrow. So first I want to talk about the severity of what we're going to be experiencing tomorrow. We have a cold front that's going to be racing across the area from west to east. And along that cold front, there could be some strong to maybe even likely severe storms that race across here. As far as timing goes, we're talking late afternoon, evening, and even through the overnight hours. What we're talking about is maybe between, give or take, 3 to 6 o'clock for western areas, then getting across maybe 6 o'clock across I-55, and then getting towards around sunset for New Orleans, Hammond, and Slidell, and then wait a little bit later towards the overnight hours for the Mississippi coast prior to midnight to just around midnight for like far eastern parts of the Mississippi coast around Pascagoula. So this is going to be a mid to late afternoon, evening, and early overnight risk of what we're seeing for tomorrow, so plan accordingly. Some of these impacts include the potential for damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Large hail. We were looking at some of the parameters today. There's actually a pretty good risk for potential for large hail, especially in that enhanced risk area. That includes hail around 1 inch in diameter or larger. And yes, even a few tornadoes. So what we're experiencing is the potential for pretty much all modes of severe weather. As far as flash flooding goes, we don't see a substantial risk of flash flooding since this line will be progressing relatively quick to the east. However, we can't rule out some locally heavy rainfall as well. But overall, the biggest potential impact here is going to be damaging straight line winds, large hail, and even a few tornadoes. And talking about the safety information, make sure you have a reliable source of weather information should warnings become necessary. We say that all the time. If your source are broadcast meteorologists on TV or NOAA weather radio, we say you can't go wrong with a NOAA weather radio, especially if you have batteries in it in case you lose power. Those are going to be your primary sources, and then even wireless emergency alerts if you happen to get a tornado warning or a higher flash flood warning. So let me see if I can kind of see if I can, there we go, try and progress here to the next slide. There we go. So this is what we're talking about by understanding the thunderstorm outlook categories. What I meant by a 1 out of 5 or 2 or 3 out of a 5. When we're talking about a 1 out of 5, there's a few severe storms. That's what I was just talking about, maybe a few stronger storms across southwest Mississippi today. However, that threat gets a little bit higher tomorrow to a slight risk, which we call a 2 out of 5. That's where we talk about the potential for what we just said, hail, damaging winds, and even tornadoes. And it kind of says there too, similar to storms you may experience a few times per year. So maybe a few warnings in this case, maybe even a watch prior beforehand. But now we're talking about a level 3 out of 5. That's an enhanced risk. So that's several severe storms with the potential to produce the same hazards that I just mentioned. This happens maybe once or twice per year on average. So that enhanced risk is why we're specifically really focusing on that area a lot. But then when you go up towards the north, we have a moderate risk, and that's where so we're not going to be seeing the worst severe weather this system will be bringing forth to it. That's going to be for our friends up to the north across Jackson, Memphis, and even Birmingham. So be aware that if you have family and friends up in that area, they may be dealing with maybe the potential for some large, long-track violent tornadoes in that area. However, our risk is just slightly less than that, but still not enough to just wipe under the table. This is going to be something we're going to have to really closely monitor, especially during the time frames that we just talked about. So going on to the next slide here, severe weather safety, be weather aware. If you happen to get a tornado warning tomorrow, we always say get near the center, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. Stay away from windows. That's very important. We try and push that as hard as we can to get to the center of your house. We know there's many people don't have basements. So you got to get to the center foundation of a home. If you get that warning on your phone or you hear about it via either Twitter, Facebook, or broadcast meteorologist tells you that you're under a tornado warning, you need to take shelter immediately. Get to that center floor and stay away from windows. We may have a couple warnings tomorrow just based out of the atmospheric ingredients that we've been looking at. Also, get out of mobile homes. If you live in a mobile home, make sure you have a plan. That's the biggest bold point I can make here, is to make sure you have a place to go to. That includes a sturdier building, or maybe just a friend or a family member's home or community shelter nearby. So have that plan for that time frame I was talking about tomorrow. And again, just kind of these are some of the kind of tips and tricks to keep in mind as we get through the system. So this is a point I've been recently, for those who have been watching my Facebook Lives here, for about a year now, I've been kind of, just about under a year or so, I've been pretty much been hitting really hard about the importance of finding where you live on a map. As I just showed you all these graphics here, and we use these graphics to portray risk areas. Even broadcast meteorologists will show these graphics. We will show radar imagery, and it's extremely important to know where you live in vicinity to your parish or your county. Even better is not just the county or parish where you live in, but know the surrounding county or parish. For example, if you live in Hammond and you know there's a tornado warning for Livingston Parish and it's heading towards the east-northeast, well, if you know Livingston Parish is to your west, you know that storm may be heading your way and you may not even be under a tornado warning yet. So that's what we mean by you want to be situationally aware and know your location on a map exclusively so that you can keep yourself as safe as possible, and in case there's any type of dangerous weather heading your way. So know which National Weather Service office serves your area. Out of the 122 offices across the United States, we are one of them here in southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. We include southwestern Mississippi as well as coastal Mississippi as well. But we have neighboring offices, so if you're watching from some of these areas, be aware. Follow them on Facebook and Twitter. To our west is the National Weather Service Lake Charles office, which covers Alexandria and Lafayette. The Jackson office to our north, they cover a big chunk of Mississippi and a little bit of Louisiana as well. And then there's also National Weather Service Mobile, which covers Mobile, Pensacola area, Fort Walton Beach, and even going up to Evergreen as well. So follow your office near you. They're going to be giving you specific information to where you live if you're in any of these adjacent areas. So be aware of that. We're going to be talking about with these threats here going up for the next while when we're going to be posting images on Twitter and Facebook. We're going to be mostly confined to our area, or what we call a CWA, or a county warning area, which is just southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. But if you're traveling in any other direction tomorrow, or if you live in any of these other in these areas where these other offices serve, make sure to follow them on Facebook or Twitter for the latest information. So this was actually a very interesting tweet I saw today, and I wanted to really share this. This was from the National Weather Service Norman, Oklahoma office that was talking about, has your phone ever gone off for an Amber Alert or a flash flood warning? Did you disable that feature? We're in severe storm season, and we got severe weather potential tomorrow. Make sure that you've enabled this feature. I'm telling you right now, this can save lives. If you have a tornado warning and in alerts or a flash flood warning, something like a considerable or flash flood emergency is issued for your area, it will alert your phone. So today's a great day to just double check that. Turn on your phone, go to the settings, and just see if you have it on. Especially for areas towards our east that maybe get a little bit towards later in the night. If you happen to be going to sleep early, it's extremely important to have this so it can wake you up, especially if you don't have a NOAA weather radio. I personally strongly believe having this WIA alert system as well as a NOAA weather radio is a very reliable way for you to get access to these warnings. I know people don't want to be waked up, but this is a life or death situation, and there's unfortunately been in history people who have been killed by tornadoes when it struck in the middle of the night, and they didn't have these features turned on, and they didn't have a way to receive warnings. So our job here is your safety. We want you to be safe from these thunderstorms, and if you have to be woken up, there's a reason for it. We want you to be safe, and we want to protect you in life and property as well. So that's going back to the enhanced risk for severe weather there that we were just talking about. Again, I expect there to be a little bit more updates, and the changes that we were talking about earlier as well was that what we're seeing that is we were just under a slight risk across the whole area, which now that has increased to an enhanced risk for our northern parts of our area. So that includes Macomb and like cities I was talking about before, Woodville, New Roads, Clinton, Bogalusa. You're in that. If I'm naming your city out, that's you. Even other cities like Greensburg, getting close to Livingston, not in Slidell, but we don't want you to pay exact attention to that fine line. We're not saying that Hammond will see maybe a couple severe storms, and then you go up to Greensburg and you're going to see numerous widespread severe storms. That's not the case. Don't focus on that exact line. The main takeaway here is that the risk for severe weather is higher for our northern area and lower for our southern areas. Get towards the coast of like Terrebonne Parish and getting across like Grand Isle and even Plaquemines Parish. A little bit lower there, but still you have that risk for severe weather. So we're going to keep you posted with the latest. We're going to be doing several more updates. We promise to do even another update, either a Facebook Live or a video update here later this evening, so that we will be able to provide you with the latest information there when it comes across. So stay tuned to us here on Twitter and Facebook at National Weather Service New Orleans is how you found us on Twitter, and National Weather Service New Orleans on Facebook as well. Follow our get on our website for the latest updates. We'll be posting latest graphics there as well once they come across. So we'll be ending it there. I appreciate you paying attention, and y'all take care. And we'll, like I said, be promising to do another update here later this evening. So we'll end it there, and take care.